Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the PreCardix Podcast. Happy to be here again. And my name is Andreas Semmingsen. I'm the CEO of Marealis. And today I have with me our CCO, Chief Commercial Officer, Rune. How are you doing, Rune?
Hi, Andreas. Thank you for having me.
Pleasure. So today I thought we would talk about a topic that is reflecting the stage we're at now with our company. We've shared a little bit about the history of the company in the past. I talked a lot about the development phase and the market development and the fact that how we gained a proof of concept from the Canadian marketplace. We've talked about how excited we are to finally launch in the US, very important market for us. But today I want to talk a little bit about how to go from that first step, making a proof of concept, launching in one country to try and scale the business globally. And perfect guest to have is the man who is appointed Chief Commercial Officer with main purpose of helping us in that scaling process. So any first thoughts, Rune? How scaling versus building a first market? Any similarities or differences you want to highlight?
Yeah, well, for sure. I do think that the experience that we've brought from our Canadian operation is essential when we want to scale, and certainly now we're here in the US launching with our product in this market. What we see is that each market has its own, demand structure. The consumers will appreciate different aspects of the product, and the whole regulatory process is different. So even though there are many similarities in the markets, we also see that there are differences. And scaling on a global for a global market, there are so many considerations, so many factors that we need to bring into our planning process.
Absolutely. I can really agree on that. And that's why it's great to have you on board. A little bit about your background. As I said, we hired you based on your background, and you've done some scaling before. Can you tell us a little bit about your career before joining the PreCardix team and how you've worked with scaling other businesses?
Yeah, well, thank you. Yeah, I came from the software business, being a product marketing manager and acting head of marketing for a software business, creating software for the shipping industry. And again, the shipping industry is a global business. You need to bring that marketing and messaging out to markets in the Middle East, Asia, Europe, and across the globe.
Right.
Targeting international audience, it's it's important then to understand the landscape, the competitive landscape you're in, and build a marketing organization that's ready to do that kind of work, to address the markets out there efficiently with good messaging.
Right.
And with all the bells and whistles of the modern marketing organization.
Mm-hmm. And how long were you in that company again? And how was the development phase from you started until you went on and joined the Marealis team? I know they've had a quite extraordinary run, and it must have been significant changes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, when I joined that company, they were, quite basic in their marketing operations. So what I brought in was a more 360-degree perspective on bringing all the marketing activities into the core of the operation. Being a product organization, you need to put the marketing and the customer very centric to the development process. So starting there with the product itself, and then building on that to create that messaging, right, and make that right. And then of course it was also a question of building capabilities, building a set of tools and frameworks.
Systemizing things, probably.
Yeah, absolutely. We had to. So we actually created a new. We launched a new website, but not just that. We the entire technology stack behind our working processes.
Which I know it's something we have been working on now, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think any organization looking to scale, to create those marketing capabilities, you need to have a hard look at your tool set, your skill set, and build that so that you're capable of doing that scaling as well.
No, exactly. And so from the software to the shipping industry and to the supplement industry, how did that happen?
Yeah, well, I saw this ad. No, well, no, I heard about this job, and the biotech industry, and I mentioned this before. The biotech industry in Tromsø is thriving. We do have the Arctic Ocean just outside of our doorstep, with all these resources available to us.
Strong scientific environment.
Yeah, absolutely. So what we see is that there are many companies creating, brilliant products that can address health issues, many concerns and demand in the market. And when I saw this ad from Marealis, I was excited, because it was such it's an opportunity to become part of a global scale-up business, and that really was something that I wanted to be a part of.
Well, we're very glad that you applied. I remember you saying also in the first interview we had that you hadn't applied for a job in 10 years?
Yeah,
many years.
Many years.
So that's a compliment to us that we were able to attract you as a candidate. And of course, we're very happy to have you on board.
Yeah, thank you. Happy to be here.
Yeah, right. You talked about some of the aspects you were working on in the software shipping industry. Now you've been here for a while in Marealis, or a short while, and we've already addressed some similarities that you've worked on before. You mentioned the website optimization, creating systems. Can you say a little bit about the conversations we've had so far with trying to systemize things, trying to go from addressing one market with one website, with one ad account, and all of the technical aspects you need to consider when you're launching in a few different markets at the same time?
Yeah, as you know, running a global business and in the supplement industry, a dietary supplement industry, we do have some regulatory issues that we need to adhere to. So building business units in different markets means that each business unit must comply to local regulations.
Mm-hmm. And there's market differences as well.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. Cultural differences between, America, Asia, Middle East, different markets will have different needs in how, and even how we can address them. The basic structure will be different. So I think at the back end, we as a brand owner, we need to build some capabilities, set up our systems so that we can address these markets in a coherent but also effective way, maintaining our brand, maintaining brand consistency,
balancing to have a similar looking field and also to meet the local demands in the marketplace, both, as you said, from a regulatory perspective and consumer demands and sales channels and all of that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think any global business, whether it's you're marketing to the shipping industry, marketing to consumers. Before I also worked with some fishery brands, global brands, working in the fishery markets as a consultant, advertising professional. You always try to find a balancing act between keeping the global brand there with some consistent messaging, consistent look and feel. We want that brand to be recognized, but still you need to make sure that that message gets across in the market you're operating in. And so that's a balancing act that we as a brand owner need to focus on as well.
Absolutely. One of the things that I've been thinking a lot about myself in this past journey we've had commercially, say the past 3-4 years, has been trying to balance pace and perfectionism, or quality, if you will. Of course, you want to do things as good as possible. You want to create systems. You want to have things as good as possible. But at the same time, you need to go. You need to have pace. You need to progress. You can't allow yourself as a small startup to wait until things are perfect, until you just get going. But at the same time, I feel that the longer you come in terms of scaling and the size of the business, the more systems you need to have in place, and more quality control, more time you have to spend on all of this work. Would you agree in that assessment?
Yeah, absolutely. I think this duality between wanting to have things, well, it will never be perfect, but to optimize and to try to be as professional and into the details as possible. You want to create, perfect systems, but still, from a business perspective, we don't always have that time, that luxury of waiting for that perfect system. We need to move fast, make fast learnings as we go along, test and see what works, keep what works, ditch what doesn't work. So I think it's a balancing act in the mindset as well. And I have a graphic design background. As a personality, I do think that I do appreciate being
dynamic.
Yeah,
creative.
but also I like the quality part. I do like to keep things neat and delicate and do things right. But you need to be pragmatic as well. And this is you can bring that into the business development part as well. Building new markets, leading these commercial efforts.
Yeah, I guess its difference is also within the business. So, for example, in our case, we would never take any shortcuts or go without quality in terms of quality systems, in terms of making sure the product has gone through all the testing and analysis it needs to ensure the product quality. The same thing we can say about the development process, where we spent a lot of time and funding to make sure the product was good to go and ready for the market. While in other processes, as you're mentioning, with marketing, for example, and with some of the market development, you kind of have to allow yourself not to wait until things are perfectionated completely.
Yeah, but I would disagree. It's not a question about quality, because I think it's in this company's basic values that we want to do good, and we want to create quality in everything, in our products, in our processes, in everything. Also our marketing efforts as well, and we will. But I think the amount of time and effort that we will assign to each process, we can decide how much to invest. We will always deliver quality, but the comprehensiveness will change based on deeper analysis of what works and where the phase we're in, actually.
Right. Okay, so that's kind of all the processes you have to go through when you scale into, say, a new market. How about the pace in terms of, in our case, for example, we have launched in Canada, we have a proof of concept for Canada. How many additional markets at once can you take? How quickly can you go?
Yeah, well,
how quickly should you go?
Yeah, well, that's a great question, Andreas, and I guess we will need to spend time on that. But again, back to one of the original questions here. If you put the systems in place,
Right.
if you had great systems, great tools, great thinking behind you, and you can trust that the products and all the quality processes are in place, and that our business structure is set up for that scaling.
Yeah.
And essentially also, I think, find good partners. So working with great partners, launching in new markets, that is essential to that scaling process. So I think we will.
I'm glad you say that. And I think that's the point. Like it's not a linear curve.
No.
It's supposed to be exponential, so that you put the systems in place, you allow yourself to systemize everything, set yourself up for success, and then you're able to grow more rapidly than you've done in the past. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we're dedicated to doing that. It's part of why I'm here, and we've had these discussions. We really want to succeed, and we want to work with great partners. We did have this saying earlier on today or yesterday. We said having fun and scaling. So I think doing great work with great people, having fun at the same time, and by doing that type of work, you're making we're able to scale to succeed as a business as well. So I think it's you can do both.
Right. Yeah. Well, scaling is fun. It should be fun.
Yeah, well said.
Yeah, we're obviously launching in the US, which is why we have this podcast, or part of it's to introduce PreCardix, the product, and our company to people in America, but also in the global world, right?
Yeah.
Can you share a little bit more about our plans outside of North America? Like, what are we looking to do within the next 1 to 5 years?
Yeah, well, obviously, having global ambitions means that we need to look into markets elsewhere, and we're a European company. Certainly, Europe is interesting. So many countries, so many markets available there. Of course, as you know, the regulatory process of bringing this type of product into the market is something we need to focus on.
Yeah.
But also, Middle East, the Emirates, super interesting markets. We're talking to partners there already. We're hoping to find additional ones to engage in talks. Africa, super exciting continent. So many opportunities there.
Right.
It's a vast continent. So much happening. And of course, in the Asian markets, we do know that, and we do have potential partners,
Right.
in so many countries, so many markets there. So
Yeah. Lots of opportunity.
Lots of opportunity, and I think again it will be a balancing act, trying to optimize these processes that we have already ongoing, finding the right partners, and doing that job.
Yeah, right. And back to that with pace, with creating systems, even if we're able to systemize everything and set ourselves up to scale in a rapid pace. We're a small team. We obviously have to prioritize our efforts. How do we go ahead to prioritize which markets to go for when?
Yeah, well, we spent some time on this, and
you've been working on a framework, I know.
Yeah, I have. So I call this the opportunity effort framework. So basically, what we're trying to do is we look at different markets, identifying some key factors within these markets, and trying to assign a certain number, a certain opportunity.
Rate them, basically.
Yeah, it's a rating, and then summarizing that with the opportunity, how big is that market? What is the demand factor in that market? So that will help us in prioritizing where to go next. Absolutely.
Yeah, I really like that approach. It's easy to be carried away. Myself, after we have been looking to start this scaling process, you get a lot of inquiries from various possible partners across the world, and it's very easy to get carried away and just add to the list of projects. Say, okay, maybe we'll go here, maybe we'll go here, maybe we'll go here. But as I've said to you before we brought you in, what we really need is to create systems and to have a proactive approach in how to choose the right market we want to go for, and to do that in the right pace, and also in a quality manner where you can create that exponential growth. So
absolutely,
I think we've covered most of that really in this episode. So I'm glad we've been through that, and it'll be exciting to get going on that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's lots of work still, but again, with such a small but also such competent, great team, I'm confident that we will have so much fun in also doing the necessary groundwork, the hard work behind such a scaling process. So I'm really looking forward to that as well.
Yeah, that's great. Well, I think that's a wrap, Rune. I think we've covered the theme of having fun and scaling. Is that?
Yeah, that's the theme. Yeah, thank you for having me.
That's great. Thank you. Okay, guys, thank you for tuning in. That was this episode. We'll be back with more soon.